If you always mix boom spikes, this one simple chart pattern can completely change your entries. Today, I'll give a step-by-step guide of how you, as a total beginner, put high profitable entries like this. Now, most beginners lose because they enter boom randomly. They see just one candle move up and immediately they jump into a trade only for price to start reversing against them. Now, the secret is this. Spikes usually leave clues before they happen, okay? Every spike usually leaves clues before they happen. Now, before a boom spike will happen, it will show you a clue. It will give you a clue. Now, we're going to talk about those clues and the things you have to look out for in order for you to know if it is time for boom to spike. So today I'm going to show you the exact one chart pattern that I wait for in order to get high profitable entries like this. That chart pattern is support rejection and bullish engulfing. Okay, before we get into explaining how this works, now let's understand how boom spike works. Okay, let's understand how boom move. Okay, boom moves gradually, okay, like this. So boom moves downward slowly, candles by candles, and then it spikes. Okay, it moves slowly downwards again, and then it spikes, and then that's how it continues. Okay, now having known that it moves slowly, candles by candles before spiking, you don't just guess, you don't just guess. Your job is to wait to spot out the particular spot at which it spikes, and that is the spot I'm about to show you today in order for you to get good entries like this. So as it progresses towards the downside, like we have here, all you have to do is wait. Now, the first thing for you to do is go over to the higher time frame. Right here, the time frame we are presently is the 5 minutes time frame. Now, what you have to do is to go over to the higher time frame, like say 1 hour time frame. Okay, let's say 1 hour time frame or 4 hours time frame, and you have to identify support zones. Okay, you have to identify support zone. You have to scroll your screen to the left. Okay, scroll to check previous support zones. And when we look at this chart right here, we can see that this region right here, we have support zones. Can you see that? We have support zones that price has respected repeatedly. So when we go to where the current price is right now, we can see that we have what support zone that has been respected multiple times. Can you see that? That zone right there has been respected multiple times. Let me change the color of my brush so it's very visible. Okay, so this zone right here, you can see that it has been respected multiple times. Okay, that is a support zone. And we also have another support zone right here. Okay, but this is the one we are considering. Okay, let's head over to the 4 hours time frame. Okay, so right here on the 4 hours time frame, can you see the zones clearly? When price was approaching downward, so what I did was to mark out this support zone you are seeing right here, right now. Okay, let me change the color. Okay, so when price was approaching downward, the first thing I did when price was approaching downward, this is 4 hours time frame. Okay, the first thing I did was to come over to the 4 hours time frame and identify any support zone that was close by. Okay, and that is how I marked out my support zone using this what rectangle. Okay, that's how I marked out my support zone using that rectangle. And thereafter, I stepped down back to 30 minutes to get a clearer view of it. Okay, can you see that? So this is the support zone I marked out. So when price was approaching downward at this level, okay, that was when I decided to what mark out the support zone. So when you scroll to your left, you can see that there is a support zone. And boom's kind of movement is that it respects support zone, it respects previous support zone. So when it's approaching previous support zone, you should what expect spike to occur. Okay, so especially the support zone that has been respected multiple times like we have here. Okay, it has been rejected multiple times like we have here. So you should also expect the price to spike at that level. Now, for you to know that price is going to spike at this level, the first thing is you are going to notice support rejection. Okay, you're going to notice support rejection. Okay, so when price reaches the support zone, you are going to notice rejection wicks on your candles. Okay, you're going to notice rejection wicks on your candles. Like, let's zoom in to see if there was rejection wick on the candles right here. Let me change the color of the support zone. Okay, so let's use white for the marking of the support zone so we can easily see our candles. Okay, so now when you look closely, you can see that right at that support zone. So when we look at this support zone right here, if you look at the candles there, you can see that those candles, they are showing weak rejections. Okay, can you see them? Can you see this candle? It has this green candle here and this red candle, this red candle. So when you see the candles on this zone, you can see rejection, that's buyers are pushing price upward. Okay, the sellers are losing strength. Okay, can you see that? So these weeks, this presence of these weeks at this support zone is a signal that spike is about to what occur. Now, after noticing rejection at the support zone, the next thing you have to look out for is bullish engulfing candle. That's the second thing you have to look out for. Now look closely, look at what happened after the rejection. Can you see that? Can you see after the weak rejections that we saw, and then the next thing you have to see is what a bullish engulfing candle. Can you see that this candle engulfed the previous candles? Okay, so when you notice this bullish engulfing candle, you allow it to close. So as soon as this candle closes, the bullish engulfing candle closes, you open up a trade. That is the safest point for you to enter. Okay, which this is your entry. Let me point it out. When this bullish engulfing candle closes, that is the level at which you have to get into the trade. Okay, but me, I entered earlier because I am confident. I've seen these signs, I've seen all the signs, I've seen rejection at the support zone, and I have also seen buyers pushing price up, so I entered earlier. But the safest zone for you to enter is to enter after the close of the bullish engulfing candle. Okay, so this is the one pattern you have to look out for in order to identify that spike is going to occur. Support rejection coupled with what bullish engulfing candle, and after that you are going to see massive profit. Let's step down to 5 minutes. You can see the massive spikes that we had. Can you see that? You can see the multiple spikes that I was able to catch. Can you see that? Multiple spikes that I was able to catch using this one chart pattern. Ensure you have to what, go to your higher time frame like I've shown you, mark out strong support zone. And how do you identify strong support zones? Strong support zones are zones where price has respected multiple times. Okay, price has tested it multiple times and it was rejected. Okay, like we have here. So I will consider here as what is strong support zone. Remember, when drawing your support zone, you don't draw it as a line, you don't draw it as a level, you draw it as a zone. That is why you see that I use the rectangle right here to indicate my support zone. So these whole areas that the rectangle cover is considered the support zone. And when I scroll backward, you can see that this zone is very strong. Can you see that? This zone is very strong as it is also respected here. Can you see that? It was also respected at that level. Okay, so go to your higher time frame and mark out strong support zone. Then step down to 30 minutes or 15 minutes time frame to get a clearer view of what price is doing presently. Okay, so when you step down to 15, this is 15 minutes time frame now. When you step down to 15 minutes time frame, so you'll be able to spot when price is going to what, touch that zone like it did right here. Price touch the zone which you have drawn from the higher time frame. When it touches it, you should what, expect spike. So as soon as you notice a bullish engulfing candle, okay, engulfing the previous candles, you should know the price is boom is about to what, start spiking up. Okay, and also another thing you can check out is a shift in market structure. Okay, you can check out shift in market structure. Okay, you know, if you have not watched this video where I discussed your boss and your chalk, okay, the break of structure and change of character, okay, just click on this video right now and watch it so you understand there is a shift in market structure. So as soon as you see a shift in market structure like we have here, we had change of character right here. Okay, initially price was going lower high and lower low. Can you see that? Price was going lower highs and lower lows. Okay, so when it hits the support zone right here, you can see that there's been what, a change of character. Okay, there's been a change of character. So right here you can see that this last lower high was broken. Okay, and then you can see price continue towards to spike up. This is the exact one chart pattern that you can use to identify boom spikes before they occur. Okay, and if you apply this correctly, you'll be able to catch multiple spikes just like we have here. If I head over to the 1 minute time frame, you are going to see that that was massive spike. Can you see it? I call the spikes in multiples. Can you see? There's currently being a retracement right here. So now that you know the exact one chart pattern you have to identify in order to know that boom spike is going to happen, I want you to head over to your chart right now and start spotting out strong support zones. Okay, spot out strong support zones and then watch price come back, watch price retrace to that point. And when you retrace to that point, the next thing to observe is weak rejections and then your bullish engulfing candles. Okay, once you see your bullish engulfing candle engulfing those candles that had weak rejection, then you should know the price is gonna spike. And when you hop into the trade, they're gonna make massive profit. Now, master this one pattern first before trying advanced strategies. If you can learn to mark your support zones correctly, you can identify rejection and you can spot a golfing candle. Apply patience, you will stop chasing random spikes. Comment chart pattern if you want part 2 where I will show you the best time frame for catching boom spikes fast. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to Ever Profitable Income. Bye.